There's never a dull moment in the Premier League, but this may be the most chaotic 9-minute rant from an ex-player about a current player you will see. And in recent years in the Premier League, the last decade, we've had the Graham Souness Pogba debate. We've had the Jose Mourinho Pogba debate. We've had the Arteta Aubameyang. We've had lots of different heated moments. But never have I seen live on Sky Sports one of the most respected pundits absolutely rip into Mohamed Salah. Yes, I'm talking about Jamie Carragher's 9-minute rant yesterday on Monday Night Football with the Man United game. We've got a couple of clips we want to react to. I want to get your thoughts and feelings, so make sure you let me know down in the comments. Are Liverpool in a crisis just with the Mohamed Salah situation alone? Bearing in mind they're 10th in the Premier League, they're 13th in the Champions League. They've got a must-win game tonight against Inter Milan. And if they go on to lose that game, they could be in huge trouble. Inter Milan are coming off the back of a 4-0 win against Como, 3 wins in a row, and it's at the San Siro. Mohamed Salah is not in the squad. The narrative could be that if they lose the game, maybe we would have won this if Mo was playing, but equally it can go the other way. If we won this game, now we've got the bad egg out of the group. It will be interesting to see how the narrative comes out in the next 24 hours. But Jamie Carragher, literally, you've got to watch this. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We just hit 85K, so big up to every single one of you. It really is greatly appreciated. If we can try and get as close to that 100K before the end of the year, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now, this is Jamie Carragher yesterday on Sky Sports talking about the Mohamed Salah situation. Have a listen to this.
Jamie, you've had a couple of days to chew on this. What's your take on it?
I thought it was a disgrace, what he did after the game. Some people have painted it as an emotional outburst. I don't think it was. I think whenever Mo Salah...
Bearing in mind, Liverpool have just drew 3-3 to Leeds United. Now, I'm not defending Mohamed Salah. I'm not defending Jamie Carragher. We're going to try and be as neutral in this debate as I can, and we're going to try and be as unbiased as I can. Liverpool have just come off the back of a 3-3 defeat, which is their worst run of games since the 1950s. They are in a catastrophic run. They've only won a handful of games out of their last 14. They're in their lowest position in the Premier League in a long time. They're suffering in the Champions League. Mohamed Salah comes out of an interview, calls out Arne Slot, calls out Liverpool, even references Jamie Carragher in this. This is what Jamie Carragher has to say. People have said it's an emotional outburst. I can kind of see that. But, yeah.
Stops in a mix zone, which he's done 4 times in 8 years at Liverpool. It's choreographed.
So now we're not talking about this subject. This one, we're talking about previous ones, which is a bit of a dig at Salah. You can talk about the contract situation as much as you want. Last year, Liverpool were in such a unique situation where you've got Salah, Trent, but Alisson's only got a year left, and Virgil van Dijk. A new manager comes in off the back of 7 or 8 really good years under Jurgen Klopp, winning Champions League, winning Premier League, FA Cups, League Cups, Charity Shield, Super Cups, Club World Cups. They had an unbelievable 8 years under Jurgen Klopp. A new manager comes in. I can understand from Trent, Van Dijk and Salah's situation not to sign a contract in the summer because you don't know how Arne Slot would have, you don't know how it would have unraveled. It's a big gamble bringing a new manager who didn't have a huge amount of experience, only really managed over the Eredivisie, managing Feyenoord. I understand that. As you get through the season, you approach January, you see the unbelievable run of games. Leipzig, City, Real Madrid, Chelsea, all in last October. They had a really good period of games where they went and they battered so many teams. I can understand why you may not necessarily want to sign a contract at that time because a lot of footballers are about maximizing their fortune in terms of wages, deal, contract, endorsements, advertisement. They're all about it. They're essentially their public image. We've seen Trent Alexander-Arnold go to Real Madrid, drop Arnold off his shirt and just be known as Trent. Now, yeah, I'm not really sure where Carragher's going, but we'll have to carry on with this.
With him and his agent to cause maximum damage and strengthen his own position.
I don't agree with that. Salah not necessarily signing a contract isn't causing Liverpool a huge amount of damage. It's a cause for a concern, but at the end of the day, Salah signed a new deal and Virgil van Dijk signed a new deal. So that, I don't understand bringing up past matters into this current debate. I'm a bit like, yeah, where do we sit with that? Let me know your thoughts.
He did that 12 months ago, and I called him out on this show about it. And he played on the heartstrings of Liverpool supporters. Liverpool were top of the league. He'd scored the winning goal at Southampton. That was the time to come out and put pressure on the Liverpool.
So what Jamie's saying is he hasn't chose the best moment, but recently Mohamed Salah wasn't on the bench in September, October, and November, and August. So the opening 4 months of this season, Mohamed Salah wasn't sitting on the bench, Jamie. He wasn't sitting there wondering if he's going to come on or not. And bearing in mind, last season, he had the most unbelievable individual season, the best individual season we may ever see him for the Premier League. 45 goal contributions, an unbelievable return. We didn't see that last year because he started every game. This year, by Salah's standards, he has been poor and he deserves some criticism, and that's fair.
Ownership. So if the rest of the season you have banners in the crowd, give Mo his dough. He's chose this weekend to do this now. And he's waited, I think, for a bad result with Liverpool. You can see the last-minute goal. Liverpool.
Okay, so if we just say that maybe holds water, right? If we say that Mohamed Salah has chosen a bad time to come out and speak and do that interview. So if we look at Liverpool's recent results, just to play devil's advocate, when was the best time? They beat West Ham, drew to Sunderland, drew to Leeds. They lost to Chelsea, Man United, Brentford, Palace, Man City, Forest, and PSV. Maybe he should have come out after a Villa win. Maybe he should have come out after Frankfurt or the Real Madrid. That may hold water, but this season there hasn't been a perfect time for him to come out because of how bad they have been since the end of August. Like, let's look at their Champions League results. They lost to Frankfurt. They lost to they beat Frankfurt. They lost to Galatasaray. They're not even in the top 10 in the Champions League. They're 13th. They're not even in the top 8 in the Premier League. There's never been a perfect time for him to come out.
Supporters, managers, the manager, everyone involved in the club feels like they're in the gutter at the moment. And he's chose that time to go for the manager and maybe try and get him sacked. That's the way I felt about it.
Interesting. His timing possibly could have been better. Let's just say it could have been. However, I sympathise with both of them because Jamie Carragher, it looks like, clearly has an issue with Mohamed Salah. The fact that you're bringing up previous stuff, the fact that you're talking about the contract situation, he's not holding himself in the best of lights, according to Jamie Carragher, his opinion on Salah. But I do think, for me, the entire debate about not helping Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak, this part of it is very, very interesting.
But the one time I wanted to be really critical and I held back this season about Mo Salah on the pitch, as I said before, I've never been critical of him on the pitch. He is a legend of the
Never been critical of him on the pitch.
Club, right? His legacy is there. If he doesn't score another goal or make another assist for this club, I don't care. He's been amazing. Where he really...
But you do care because you're criticising him right now off pitch, which essentially affects on pitch matters, which is why in this debate you're going to lead on to talk about Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz. And yes, you could maybe argue that the culture in the dressing room right now probably isn't where it needs to be. And a lot of people would say Mohamed Salah hasn't stepped up. But equally, Virgil van Dijk needed to do more from a defensive standpoint. Alexander Isak has played in this Premier League now for 3 or 4 years. It's down to him how he performs. He's in charge of his own destiny. But we'll listen to what Jamie has to say.
He let himself down in my eyes was this season in Frankfurt and another game where there's a guy who signed for Liverpool who needs a goal more than anyone, Florian Wirtz. Instead of just being a great player for the club, be a great ambassador for the club.
Okay, so that Frankfurt game, he goes on to say that there's a guy that needs a goal more than anyone. Okay? Mohamed Salah did not start the Frankfurt game. He wasn't even involved. Florian Wirtz got 2 assists. Mohamed Salah didn't score. Ekitike, Gakpo, Konate, and Szoboszlai scored. He come on the 74th minute. So I don't get what he's referring to. If it was a penalty and a player needs to gain confidence, I can understand that. But there wasn't a penalty that game. And equally, it can go the other way as well. Because if Florian Wirtz misses that penalty, you can't then blame Salah for it. And the criticism would then be £120 million flop. That's what it would then be.
And roll that ball to him for an easy tap in and go over, give him a hug and a kiss and say, you know what, you're the guy who's going to take this Liverpool team forward. I don't need any more goals. I've seen Barnes at the end. I've seen Ian.
Yeah, fair point. That probably holds water.
Rush at the end. I've seen Steven Gerrard at the end. Do you think they were the same players in the pomp? Of course they weren't. Do supporters think any differently of them now? When they see them, they say, no, use the top 5.
But again, Salah played 20 minutes that game. Florian Wirtz played a full 90 and got 2 assists. Florian Wirtz wasn't bad that game.
6 players to ever play for Liverpool. And the same will be said of Salah. So in terms of on the pitch, the one criticism I've got, help the other players, help Florian Wirtz, help Isak. Don't be obsessed with your own numbers. And don't, as I said, what he's done off the pitch, I think the club have made the right decision in terms of him not going abroad now. And whether he...
But again, like I said, if Liverpool don't win this game, you're then sitting here saying, should we have started Mo? Like, I think things can... Football is very, very reactionary, right? It can change very, very quickly. After the international break in August, when Liverpool beat Arsenal, that's Dominic Szoboszlai free kick. Everyone was ripping Arsenal. Liverpool going to go invincible. 4 weeks later, Liverpool were in a rut. Arsenal are top of the league. Then Arsenal are 5 points above City. Then the gap's back down to 2. City are going to win the league. It's very, very reactional, and it can change very, very quickly. And this could bite Jamie in the arse big time.
Will play for Liverpool again. I don't know. I hope he does, because he's one of the greatest players we've ever had. But if you continue like that and statements like that, if he doesn't play, as I said, who cares? Who knows? But
was he about to say who cares?
Who cares? Who knows?
Hang on. Have we just caught you in 4K, Jamie? Does he go, who cares?
As I said, who cares? Who...
Oh, it's off the line, isn't it? But look, let me know your thoughts. I think it's a very interesting situation. I think the situation between Salah and Slot, it's done, it's over. I don't necessarily think that is repairable. I know the club have come out of a number of things, but Jamie Carragher definitely has it in for Salah. I don't care how you twist it. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. I'm out.